Europe is calling, with direct flights to 27 destinations. Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
Wolfpack have made their den a place no team dares to tread. Having won every game in Toronto, it seems no one can slow the Pack's dominance on their way to the Super 8 qualifiers. Today, the Betfred League leader Shield is in the house, but the Sheffield Eagles are looking to spoil the party. Betfred Championship Rugby starts now. Welcome to Toronto, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen. Alan A. Lamport Stadium here in the heart of downtown, where it's Wolfpack Rugby, brought to you by Air Transat. Vacation is calling, and Brian Teal joined alongside by Brian Noble, and again, championship trophy in the house, league leader Shield, and the Wolfpack and their fans are certainly excited by the prospects of that, Brian.
Well, they have to deliver. That's the message. When you've got that prize hanging over you, if that's the right reflection, then you've got to deliver, you've got to perform. They understand the pressure of performing at certain times right throughout this season, so I'm expecting that to happen. I suppose the only variable for the Wolfpack will be the extent of the challenge from the Sheffield Eagles.
And the Sheffield Eagles are hoping to pose a challenge to the Wolfpack. They've been very good on the road this year. And it's just one of those things where sometimes when you're on the road, you play up to the challenge. I mean, there's challenges of playing on the road and at home, as we get a look at the tech-savvy away lineups for the Sheffield Eagles as they come out onto the pitch.
Big Matt James leading the way.
We talked a little bit about them. A couple of injuries, a couple of guys left at home, as we get a look at the backs led by Aston, Toole and Millar.
Well, familiar house for this Sheffield team in Corey Aston and Thomas, ex-Super League experience. Watch for the boy Miller on the right wing and Spedding, plenty of speed. The jukebox, as he's commonly known, Menzi Yeri in the right centre, you won't miss him. Watch out for the jukebox. Plenty of hits there is what we're inferring. And the front row, well experienced. Sean Pick, who was with the Wolfpack last season. Offerdal and Fozzard, the low knee from Fozzard. So James at the back of the scrum there will provide plenty of experience for them.
And there you get a look, four additionals, interchanges there for Mark Aston as you get a look at the full squad for the Sheffield Eagles. Took a little side trip yesterday. I think that's one of the things that the teams do enjoy about coming over here to Toronto. Team tweeting out a photo of heading to Niagara Falls, so a little sightseeing just before this one.
And why not? It's important that you enjoy this trip as well as perform well, and to do that you have to see the sights, and that's one of the better sights for sure.
And that man right there has been waiting to see this site for a couple of weeks now. Ashton Sims leading out the Toronto Wolfpack as we get a look at their starting lineup as well. And Brierley, Wallace, Stanley, Kay. I mean, all of these names have had huge impacts on their season.
And Adam Higson coming back today is probably the notable change in the back line. He's been out with a broken collarbone for a number of weeks now, 6 or 7 weeks, so he has his opportunity in place of Matty Russell, which is the only change from the back line. And the return of Ashton Sims, very familiar in relation to Wolves and their creation. He's part and parcel of that. Jake Emmett, Andrew Dixon, Bob Bezic in the middle as always, and Darcy Lussick provides a formidable front line.
As you get a look there at the interchanges, Rowley bringing out today, and familiar names there, of course, as this team has had the pleasure of essentially playing at near full strength for most of the season. They've been able to overcome the key injuries that they've suffered.
Well, other than the start of the season, and I would say approaching the halfway stage with quite a lot of injuries, and there was quite a lot of, at some stages they were hanging on by shoestrings in relation to 17 and 18 players, and to manage that the way through is a magnificent job. they've managed to stay strong, clearly with a record of 17-1-1, which I think it is.
And at this point, just ahead of kickoff, we will turn things over to the national anthems.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command, car t'empereur sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And as we get set for kickoff, you get a look at the standings there, and the Wolfpack firmly ahead, as they've got an 8-point advantage over that two-way tie for second. And for them, it's just been a season that's kept on trucking. Actually, 7 over the second place and then 8 over the fourth.
Yeah, they've been very strong, justifiably so. They're in that position, play that well, it gives you the right to have a look at your whereabouts, and it's a whole lot nicer looking down on people than it is looking up at this start of the year. There's a heck of a fight going in around 3, 4, 5 and 6 to try and get into the playoffs, so very nervous for a lot of those good teams.
One of the interesting things, you talked about coming back off of a collarbone injury in a sport like rugby. Is there any hesitancy on the part of the player? Because I mean, there's so much contact, there's high contact, you have to be careful on how you land. Do you expect any hesitancy in the return?
I don't. I'm a big fan of rugby league players, and in many respects they're reckless.
We'll certainly find out if that recklessness holds true as the Wolfpack go to work right here, getting it wide on the near side. A lot of space in front. Liam Kay has a lot of turf ahead of him, and he just tries to punt it forward there. The grubber just going into the feet rather.
Well, there's an element of discipline that the Wolfpack will have to bring to their team, because they'll play 2. They've made a fabulous break, scripted from the coaches, and then Liam Kay comes up with an ordinary kick, which pretty much leaves Sheffield off the hook. Now, they get the ball early in the game. They started with a short kick-off. Their coaches clearly drilled them well. We're going to do things different. We're going to have a crack at this team in white.
So Sheffield goes to work here. Wrapped up just shy of the 40. And then rumbling out to midfield. In on that is Ashton Sims. So he finds himself quickly back into the fray as well, as that one will scoot all the way down just in front.
Well, Oscar Thomas, the halfback there for the London Broncos, is trying to find a sideline. I think that's a smart play. I think they've worked to the side. They've been restricted in their territory. He's got a left foot kick and he was trying to find the left sideline. They want to start this game. The Wolfpack are exactly the opposite. They want to keep some fluidity in it.
Wolfpack go to work once again, trying to roll right through. Sam Hopkins taken down as he'll make his way to his feet. Quick pitch out to the pass to the side there, as then rubbed down around midfield. And slow to get up. Looks like Darcy Lussick, as he'll be tended to out on the pitch. And as you see there, plenty of fans just enjoying the shade, as there's a blazing hot sun down here in Toronto, Brian. And it's one of those things that...
it's another terrific crowd there. It's actually fuller on the other side where it's baking hot as well. They clearly want a bit top up their towns over there. And I have to say the beer garden's as full as there's 2,000-3,000 people in each end of the beer garden. So we've got a good crowd today. Darcy Lussick was looking at the crowd when he caught one in the ribs there.
And beer garden, one of those crowded places around these parts. And one of the things we were laughing about last week, Canada not necessarily known in other parts of the world for the heat.
Yeah, it's terrific weather. I mean, last week, well, that was a great catch since the penalty. I think that's justifiably so. Chase Stanley's gone underneath it. No, nothing malicious in it, but in the game of rugby league, he comes in and you're not allowed to tackle anybody in the air. They've got the right to jump and catch the ball there, and it's just a collision underneath there. He was clearly in mind of getting the ball, and so they bust themselves down, but Caelim get a copping one for his troubles catching the ball, which is his job. And just to reinforce it, nothing malicious there. He goes up into the air, and I think he's landing as much as anything else, and quite rightly penalised.
As a rough landing there. Chase Stanley in on that one as well. And it just sort of looked like he was trying to track it, but didn't quite look up, and at the last minute found himself running into him.
Well, he's clearly allowed to compete for the ball in the air, and what he's done is stop the fullback, Caelim, going up and catching the ball cleanly. Now, if he competes him in the air for the ball, it's all on, it's full. They're both jumping for the ball. But he had his eye on the ball, and the collision is, whilst not malicious and foul, it's still a penalty. And you can't do that. Drop on play one, that's a knife to the Sheffield heart. You know, they've got the ball back, they're managing the game well, and they drop the ball on play one. I suppose one thing to mention, last week's heat was oppressive in the fact that we argue for hours about it's 33, but feels like 44. So I still haven't got the right answer from any Torontonian, by the way. If it's 44, it's 44. Today it's about 30, and it feels like 30 with a nice breeze.
For the record, with that, if it's 44, it feels like 44. It is what it is. I agree with that 100%. I've never figured out how to explain that, as Liam Kay gets it on the near side once again. One stiff arm there, jumps back in, and he's wrestled down just on his side of the 10, as the Wolfpack will get their best position of the day here, jumping inside, as that one's passed back quickly, as Bestwick is wrestled down as well. So that one, the second for the Eagles, getting it quick to the near side here, right back in and rumbling through is Whiting as he's dragged down. So the Wolfpack, early pressure here, quick passing out to the side, wide open on the other, and then sliding down for the opening try, Chase Stanley.
Well, the big boy set the platform there, and it was good hands, Riley biting in at the line. Good play from the Wolfpack and a good score. There you see it. So there's the end of it. Brian to Chase Stanley, and Menzieri just can't quite get to him, and so he's on the outside. Quicker than he looks, Chase Stanley, and an easy finish in the end.
And we got our answer early on Adam Hickson as well, as he was in the thick of that and was right there waiting for it.
He's a big unit, and you have to pay attention. His winger will have been, expecting will have been looking at Adam Hickson thinking, if he gets the ball, where's my chances here? And so that's the challenge that he brings, big, raw-born, fast kid.
And so just 5.5 in, Gareth O'Brien will set up here. Was nearly perfect. on Canada Day weekend.
Guy that called me was Aaron. Different way.
And he's got this one up, and that'll go through.
Up and over.
Almost looked like he had a little bit too much curve to it.
It was a good kick. Well, here's the play from the Wolfpack. Briley going out there, taking one for his troubles, which releases O'Brien, and just a numbers game then. Tips it on to Jay Stanley, who's not small himself. You see Menzieri struggling to get with the kick on speed of Stanley, and clearly Adam Hickson a threat there. So Oscar Thomas disappointed with their effort there, but they gave the ball away in their own half, which my suggestion is try and restrain
Try not
yourself.
to do that.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Well, that was one of the things that sort of got Lee into trouble last week when they were down here, is that turnovers in the first half, undisciplined play. They cleaned it up in the second, but for them it was too little too late.
Well, there's your carry from Hickson to answer your strength of mind question. He doesn't protect himself, followed by Sims and Lussick, and rolling forward with push and support from this Wolfpack team.
Just driving into the heart of the Eagles. It's quickly moved over to the right, and a big hit right there. Still on his feet was Brierly. Got the ball even farther, and then coming back up.
Great offload from Stanley to Bezic.
Was Bezic.
Play forward, they've managed to clear from the kickoff.
So they'll work that right side again, and then just shrugging one hit and pushing forward even more. Chase Stanley.
Well, they've got their handfuls on that Sheffield left-hand side. There's going to be a penalty. Yeri too involved in the tackle, and the prowess of Hickson and his size. Stanley as well, who's not a small man, big men, and the jukebox Menzieri. He's going to have a busy afternoon.
That was one of the things that we saw, whether it was strategy or not, from Lee last week as well. Too long on the tackle a couple of times. Just trying to take some effort out of the Wolfpack as they drive right into the heart of the Eagles.
Emmett with the carry. He's been good all season.
As Besic's waiting there, he's going to get it to the far side. Nice little cut step there. Brierly's on his way in, and Brierly touches it down for the second try of the afternoon.
Well, that's a product of him biting in at the line. He's copped a couple for his troubles. He's gone into the line. That's part of a halfback's job in the modern game. And then he thinks, no, I'm just going to pass the ball here. I'm going to have a crack. And he comes off his, gives him a right foot jab there, Brian.
You like that? You're going to hang on to that one.
Kept sticking with it. Honest, there he goes. There's one right foot job and another one. And then he just picks his hole. And the middle defenders for Sheffield just can't quite get there. And that's full credit. And that's purchase on the back of what he did the previous two plays. Any good halfback needs to be a threat first and foremost. So when you're a defender and you're facing Ryan Brierly or any other halfback, you need to think, well, is he going to run or is he going to pass? And that opens up the whole game.
Second straight week that the Wolfpack have had a hot start here at home. And really, they've been off to a roaring start here at home for all of their games. I mean, they had a couple that were well in hand to start off the home portion of their schedule. Last week, challenging at points against Lee, especially in the second half. They had some trouble sort of staying on course. But other than that, they've handled their business here at home
really well. And all I would say about last week is Lee had a huge crack in the second half, and on many other days May got the bounce of the ball and come totally back. So there's O'Brien with the kick. So the focus for the week is there's so much improvement in the Wolfpack team and putting together 80 minutes and putting together performance. Here we go. Here's Brierly. So he's seen a hole on the inside there. Decides I'm going to have a crack at that. Takes off. Gets himself over. There you go. There's one jab, two jabs. That'd knock most people out. Brian?
I wouldn't be good enough to hang in for one, I can tell you that much. So the Wolfpack yet again making the home side happy. 12-0 here. Just over 10 minutes in, and they're going to start out once again.
know with Ashton Sims you get exactly what you see on the tin. Here I am, and I'm coming at you. And same with Jake Emmett. He's had a good season this season.
And they both try and get a little bit of breathing room for the Wolfpack. Quick pass here, as then rolling up was Lusick. As Kay waits. Kay, the dummy, and then rolls his way out to midfield. Just keeps the legs moving and just keeps going. And it's almost like the Eagles are shoving him into their own territory. Wolfpack go to work again, this time lassoed down, as backing off and popping this one up is Brierly.
Here's a tester.
Fielded cleanly, but then dragged all the way back into the shadow of his own end. Stanley, and it looks like Dixon were there.
There's probably an example of what Chase Stanley should have done the previous occasion. So he lets the fullback McHale catch the ball here and barrel him into the in goal.
All right, fans, don't forget, emergency medical services are on site. If you require any medical assistance, please contact security or Team Wolfpack staff immediately. Remember to drink water and stay hydrated throughout the day.
McHale. Stanley collects him along with Dixon, along with Brierly, on the back of a high Brierly kick, which allows defenders to get underneath, and it means 6 more players for this Sheffield team. We haven't had any ball at all in this game. The one play that they had, the one set they were due to have, they dropped on player 1, and it's about possession in many respects. There's Mark Offerdal, who needs some temporary wound assessment, so he's probably got some claret coming out of his melon.
He's got to keep that wrapped tight. That might also help keep the sweat out of his eyes on a day like today. I mean, that's not the way you want to do it, but
that's handy. Thomas with the goal line dropout. Clears the halfway, great kick.
So Blake Wallace fielded that one, got it off to Lusick. Lusick now all the way back, couple of jumps from Brierly before he's brought down onto the near side, and then Sims goes to work, and he just looks like a bulldozer out there on most plays. As Ashton Sims runs his way down, then looking for a little bit of room was Wallace. He had the dummy, and then Eagles wrapping him up quickly. Jack Ashworth rather in there. As Wallace goes down hard. Quick passing game here from the Wolfpack, and then muscling his way down was Lusick. He's right in front, and they'll kick it out quickly. Wallace, now a little bit of open space and in easily.
Called it a forward pass, Brian. Touchy called it. Great move. Great execution of the fact that they've adjudicated the pass was forward, and Worthington went through a hole you could get a bus through there, but not legitimately. So
he has to back the bus up then.
Back it up. Park it. You've got to do some defending to do now, Wolfpack. A little bit of a relief here for this Sheffield team who copped the first 12 minutes without the ball. There's the ball that they're adjudicated. It was forward. I'm sure Greg Worthington agrees, but he has nothing to say. There we go. Wallace at the line. O'Brien attempted Josh Toole out of there. And there's some vigorous defence from the Wolfpack on the restart.
Bessick was in at the heart of that, as well as Andrew Dixon, and Sheffield not a whole lot of space to get through, as they'll try once again. And the ball comes loose, but right there to pick it up, but looked like Offerdal, but
no, I think it was Yerry that dropped the ball. On his travels, and they thought it was gone. He was trying to find an offload with Yerry because the Wolfpack had been restricting territory, and so that's second set they've had the ball and dropped it on play. So it's too tough for any team. So that I'm sure Coach Aston is going to be talking about that when he gets to grips with his troops. I think one of the challenges for the Wolfpack was to be a little bit more vigorous defensively. I think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing some line speed. So when the Sheffield Eagles people are carrying the ball, they're being met with quite a line.
So the Wolfpack will try once again, a little bit of space. Wallace here, quick passing, spun there, O'Brien. As he's in between the 10 and the 20, so they'll try it once again. Spinning in was Hopkins.
was Emmett.
Emmett, rather.
Yeah.
The 8 and the 9 blended together a little bit and then dragged down once again. So the Wolfpack are getting down, but not a whole lot of space for them. The Eagles closing down quickly as this one comes out to Sims. Sims, quick little dump off here, and they're going to whip it all the way out to the outside. And just through the hands, might have been Chase Stanley out there.
Well, they got it well there, Sheffield. They had to. Yerry was up there with Miller. Dixon was nearly trying to find some space there, but great offload. And a penalty for lifting an elbow. And the referee. So a little bit more relief for Sheffield. What did you call an offload? Dump off. Did you call it a dump off?
I might have said that.
I like it.
Yeah?
It's good.
You're just going to keep
I'm
stealing my
picking it up.
words.
A whole vernacular on the back of. It's great. Dump off. Love it. You dumped it off. I love it. We like new things in the game.
I'll try and keep introducing
I like new things.
stuff
Yeah.
to it.
It's good, Brian.
So long as I'm not making you mad with what I'm using up here,
I'll
we're
tell
good.
you, I'll probably won't let the audience here, but I'll say nah. It's a good tackle.
We're not
from the
calling
Wolfpack
it that, I'll
again.
tell you what. The Eagles work their way out to mid. As just across midfield here, wrestled down. So they'll go to work once again on the near side. Looking for a little bit of space here, then drag down. As they're going to try once again a little bit of momentum. Ashworth is in there.
Well, they're in the Wolfpack half for the first time after 15 minutes. They'll want to stay here, so the kicking game's going to be massive. Here's Corey Aston on the play. Thomas trying to get on the outside of this Wolfpack defence, but
dragged down quickly. Stanley was in on that, so they'll boot it through.
well, there's your kick. Now the challenge for Oscar Thomas and his team, and Corey Aston and their team, and James and Yerry and all their players, is to restrict the territory now of this Wolfpack team, because they've got them down here. He was looking for that kick really early on in the game, was Thomas, and he's found it now. Now you've got to back your defence. You've got to say, well, we're going to do this because we want to manage our game and manage our energy and make sure we got some vigour for this side so we can try and get you. So the next time we get the ball, we inch away that possession game and get a bit more better ball, so in better areas.
Wolfpack talking things over here as Brierly seems like he's having a chuckle down there before they get things underway. Shadow of their own end. They've got to go the length of the field once again, and running right into the heart of the Eagles. As Aston was in on that. Brierly gets it out once again. Little jump step there is rumbling out to the 40, just shy of it, and just whipping it back in.
Well, Chase Stanley was frightened. They got some numbers in the tackle there, Sheffield. Chase Stanley was frightened of being bum rushed out of the sideline by the 4 defenders, and so he dumped it off. And unfortunately, the referee got held. What you're allowed to do in the game is give the ball back to the player if the referee is called held by them.
Wolfpack try again. Big hit right there. Lussick just running into the Eagles. And another big man to bring down. Ashton Sims goes to work as he gains some ground, coming out to Wallace. Wallace boots it all the way down.
That's got snow on it. That's a great catch from Spedding.
And
there you go.
Wrestled. They're going to push
There
him
you go.
back, and that's exactly what the Wolfpack continue to do.
2 from 2. He does a great job on the catch. Spedding. He does a great job on the catch because he can hear the hooves. He can hear them pounding down the street coming for him. He catches the ball really well. He can't do anything about that because you've got 3 Wolfpack defenders then who've got you on the up. They've caught you, so they've hung you in effect, and they've caught you up right. Watch here. Here's a catch from Spedding. So he catches it. Timing's perfect. So it's Kay and Worthington and Whiting has weight, and Briley's there, and on the back of a Wallace kick that, well, I know it's a hot day, but it had snow on it when it came down.
And he was just engulfed. Spedding was as he fielded that one, and there's something similar like that in American football, and it's one of the hardest things I think across any sport is to try and field a kick like that with guys just inches from you, essentially, because you saw how fast that the Wolfpack were able to get their hands on him. As then again running into another big hit was Lussick.
They're all the big blokes are carrying the ball strong, aren't they? And we asked the question whether Sheffield could restrict the territory. But you have to say that it didn't quite work out for them, did it?
Well, it seems like the Wolfpack have played the entire game in their end as Sims is wrestled down there, crawls forward for a little bit more. So here's Besic as he hands it off. Emmett rumbles forward. And the Wolfpack see a little bit of space and trying to roll in.
Well, held up. It was Besic, I think, having a dart at the line there. It was held up. Great defence. Last tackle, one more to defend Sheffield.
As Wallace out quick. All the way over to the side, and this one is going back the other way unless Sims can catch him. Trying to cut it off, but taking it back. The length of the field, and the Eagles are in for the first of the day as Jake Spedding takes it back.
Well, he showed some wheels, didn't he? He's picked his pocket. He's picked O'Brien's pocket. He couldn't get the ball out to Kay, expecting that expansion play. Right against the runner play. And if it's a foot race, Briley's tried his utmost. He's come from the other side of the field. Liam Kay's trying to track him down. Watch this. Here you go. Boom. Done him. O'Brien picked his pocket, picked the guy. Great wheels from Jake Spedding. Good score. Against the runner play, but well done, Sheffield. And they love it.
Well, the Wolfpack trying to go wide to the near side once again. Spedding just stepping in front of it. So for them, they are up, but there's been two almost crucial mistakes for them when they've gotten into the Eagles' territory. There was one earlier off the foot of Kay that you weren't a big fan of, and then there was that one there.
Well, I think that was the start of the game, and execution was off with Kay. This one was Spedding's taking the chance, and it's risk and reward. If he doesn't come into the line there, he's outnumbered. So it's going to be a score. So he's taking a chance. It's paid off for him, and he's had the wheels to go boom. Oscar Thomas now needs to add the extras, and they're back in the game, Sheffield, after having it all one-way traffic, you'd have to say.
Well, it was going to be a try one way or the other. Fortunately for Spedding, he guessed right as this one's up and just glances off the upright. So Thomas misses on the convert.
Well
20
well
and
played,
a half.
Sheffield, albeit on the back of picking somebody's pocket. Crowd again trying to keep
Trying
shaded.
to keep cool in that shade.
Yeah. There's loads on the other side today.
Well, that's because everybody that got here early took the shady side. So both sides are filling up, but if you're late, you're not going to get the comfortable side.
And the congested part, still the beer tent.
Well, that doesn't clear out until about 9:30, 10 o'clock. You have to drag people out of there sometimes.
Right, challenge for the Wolfpack. Set your defensive standards again. Bend your shoulders, restrict the territory of the Eagles, and go back to a little bit of process. For the Eagles, just keep looking after the ball if you can. They've had no ball, probably 6 or 7 plays in the whole half for 20 minutes.
Two quick tackles from the Wolfpack. Dixon in on that as the Eagles try and get it out to that near side once again. Wallace, Worthington in there, just trying to drag him down and then flipping him out by the legs there.
Not sure about that one. I think as he said, it's been a tick tackle as such. So another break for the Eagles.
And so they'll try once again here as they work it into the middle.
Sean Pick, Wolfpack member himself.
Familiar name around these parts, and then running into the heart of everything was Matt James.
Good carry.
Looking for a little bit of space and then bouncing this one back, rolling ball and then just falling on top of it.
Well, good line speed again from the Wolfpack, and Fozzard missed his mark in relation to the pass.
Pass fell errant, and they're back to where they were when that happened, as Dixon and Emmett in on that tackle. And then bobbled forward and just not going well for the Eagles, and picking it up and chasing it the other way, rather, Chase Stanley. And so just as it looks like the Eagles had the Wolfpack on their heels, Chase Stanley turns it the other way and Adam Hickson in on that as well. As Toronto looks to keep the pressure up and get that try back.
Toronto substitution coming to the game, number 21, Olsen Krasnicki.
Krasnicki is subbed in here. A couple of jukes there from
Nice play.
Basic and then shoved back down.
Also coming into the game for Toronto, number 15.
They'll look to get into the heart and keep those legs moving forward. Now he's got to get it down, but
Held up, so the referee adjudicating that he didn't get the ball down, showing great leg drive though, didn't he? Carrying 5 blue shirts across the line there. Was it the handover? Was it last play or was this the last play?
I think it might be this one here, but again, good awareness.
Because he's tackled in goal, he has to go back 10 meters to play it for the last play.
And good awareness from the Eagles for not letting him get that ball over. Keeping him on his back even as he went down. That come back to Wallace. Pops it up. And this one's taken by the Wolfpack here. Bounced all the way back to O'Brien. And there you see another jab step and then working his way over, rolling this one in on the ground. Picked up. They're going to look for a little bit of space on the outside to the corner. But it looked like they got Hickson out.
Well, it was an exciting last play. A bit of the bounce ball which stopped the defence, so it was a fractured line. Briley had a crack at it, tried the speculator over the top. And then Hickson was trying to use his power and his speed, but you have to say that Miller and McCaleb got across there and did a super defensive play. So there's Briley having a crack at the line, a fractured line there. Miller can't quite clean the ball up. Hickson goes for the sideline. You have to say Yeri does a good job there defensively. It was Yeri with the desperate defensive play to stop Hickson.
Eagles trying to drive this back once again. Sidlow in there as they work to the far side a little bit.
Good offload.
And quick little passing as they get this one out, but it ended up on the turf. Sidlow had it, and then he's got it out to the other side, kicked back in to the middle, bouncing there, and then just taken out the back.
Right, just for our viewers, our new and excited viewers, that was a free play. So the error from Sheffield meant that the Wolfpack could have a free play, pretty much do anything they want that's within the rules, pass it, offload, kick it, keep it going with an effort to score a try. And if they don't come up with the goods and they don't get an advantage from that play, then they go back to the original offence, which is a scrum to the attacking team, head and ball. So the Wolfpack get to put the ball in the scrum and have a crack with 6 more players.
And they'll take over in a pretty favorable territory here. Looks like they're going to be between around the 25, I guess, between the 20 and the 30. It looks like there's a Wolfpack player down on one knee. Looks like Ryan Brierley is getting tended to out there.
Yeah, I don't know what he did. Didn't see what he did, but he's taking a knee, which I think is an American football expression. Take a knee.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah. You so with that, you can do that in a number of different situations. So sometimes the coach will talk to the players before, he'll tell them to take a knee, and sometimes at the end of a football game when things are out of hand, quarterback will take a knee and then they just allow the clock to keep running. So in that situation, Brierley took one. Looks like he got his wind back, and then muscling his way across was Wallace, and they're poking at that ball, trying to grab it away from him, but holds on to it. As they offload here, Sidlow tries to muscle his way forward, but he's stopped there. Ashworth in on that, and quick outlet over. Brierley, quick little pass, and Sims is working his way down, but he's stopped just before, and pardon me, that was Dixon, and then a cheeky little move right there, and they're going to leap in, and Besic's got it for the 3rd try for the Wolfpack.
Well, Sheffield will be disappointed with that sucker punch, and it's on the back of the carry from Dixon, which fractures the line and gets them desperate on the line. But when you're conceding that way, Bob Besic's a smart player if he sees the hole. So here's Dixon hitting the line real hard, taking 2, 3, 4 defenders, scrambling around. Besic sees, listen, I'm passing. See the lie that he's done there? He's pointed to Krasnicki and play a Sheffield paper on the player on the ground. I think that James couldn't get up. Offerdale couldn't get up. He ain't going to miss that kind of opportunity. Bob Bezic, Oscar Thomas is there, all looking at each other. The Sheffield defend. All three of them probably defenders deserve a slice of that cake in relation to not defending the play. So Bezic on the score sheet.
So it took them a little bit, but the Wolfpack able to get one back here after Spedding took it the whole way the other way.
He sped the other way, didn't he?
He did. He turned it up.
O'Brien successful with the kick. 18-4. 26-27 minutes on the clock.
So the Wolfpack took them a little bit, but they have the response. Is Coach Rowley going to be happy with what they showed after the fact, or is he still going to have some things to correct, maybe liking them to get it back a little more quickly than they did?
He's a consummate pro. He'll have something to say at half-time for sure. There's still 10 minutes to go, but you know, the Spedding try against the grain, if you like, against the run of play, it happens. When you're an expansive team like the Wolfpack and you want to throw the ball around and play football, there's an element of risk with that. So execution is important.
This one taken on a hop as the Wolfpack are dragged down, trying to roll up with it, just get free. A little long on the tackle there, but they'll let it go as this one is brought up. James in there for the Eagles is again Lussick just trying to force this one through. So the Wolfpack content to drive right into the heart of the Eagles defense.
Well, they paint the field north to south, Brian. And in many respects, it is a territory game as well as a tactical game. And here you see the expansion now from the Wolfpack.
Now they're going to go to the outside and breaking through. One man to beat, hands it off. And the Wolfpack are off and running. And Brian, you were just finishing talking about that. They like to play north-south, open things up a little bit, and then you can go east-west.
There's another expression that I've used over the years, and it's cart before the horse. And there's a big cart just going up the middle, which opens up the opportunities. O'Brien then sees himself and beats the defender. He's got players on his inside and outside, Kay and Whiting respectively. Chooses Whiting, who's pushed with him, but there he goes, boom, gone through, picks out Corey Astor, gives him the right-hand fend and the right-hand see you later. But it's on the back of what's happened at the middle as well. Everybody's backpedaling in blue jumpers. They're backpedaling in blue jumpers. It gives the people on the edge the ability to go at people. So that element of patience in and around the middle, playing north to south, is just gives you the position to make it harder for the edge defenders.
And after going a little bit without one, 2 tries in quick succession here for the Wolfpack as O'Brien steps up. And he boots that one through. So his afternoon continues to just roll along as you see the Air Transat substitutions. As Bestwick coming in, Ackers, he's on his way out.
Yeah, Ackers is on his way in, and Bezic's gone off the field. Well, here's the try, and it's great hands. Good ball from Wallace to O'Brien, who gives the big right hand, see you later. And he's got Whiting on the inside as well as Wallace, and he had Kay on the outside, so he was spoilt for choices. And good play.
And that's what the Wolfpack are able to do. They might be down as they are a little late getting to this one, dragged down around their 10.
Well, that was the bounce of the
Deary
ball.
was in there.
He was.
He got down there quickly. Little dummy right there, and then cutting it back up the middle, Ackers. As he's fresh on.
There's no rest, is there? Ackers, we spoke about him before the game. That just epitomises what he can do. A little bit of a hole in and around the area we're looking at now, in and around the middle of the field, and the ruck Sheffield having to work hard in there.
Fozard had to leap in there for the tackle as his two teammates were having a tough time getting him down, and then Whiting again just having to be spun down. The Eagles are having a tough time containing him as Wallace gets it. As this one tough to handle, and then just swiped out of the back by the Eagles.
Great job again from McHale. Nice little chip kick.
I don't think they were expecting that hop that it took.
That was Garcia. Sure it is, yeah. He just had to come across around the back. He's off the field, actually. Don't know what's gone on there. But there's 6 more plays because of the quality of the kick from Wallace. He bounces up in the air and he's nothing else to do there.
And after that kick, it'll be Wallace who picks it up. Gets it back over into the middle. Krasnicki. Oh, it just flattened. Gareth O'Brien just ran into a wall, and then tempers boil over.
Well, I think it's a shoulder charge, which is illegal in this game. The referee's blowing his whistle, separate people. Gaz O'Brien caught one. It was a shoulder charge. I think if he timed it better and wrapped his arms around it, well, he would say he timed it perfectly well. But you've got to wrap your arms around as well. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a go at this one. Matty James it is. Krasnicki offloads to O'Brien. O'Brien doesn't quite collect the ball in. To be fair, it's wraps his arms around in there. There's not a lot wrong with that. Gaz O'Brien's fine, which is the end result. It's the penalty, get on with the game.
He was in the middle of that little scrum afterwards, so you would assume he's fine, but anybody that gets hit that hard, I'm guessing you're going to want to go in there.
Well, it looks like a shock, and your teammates don't appreciate that, so that's where you get the response there, I think. A lot of handbags thrown in there. The ref taking stock of it. Somebody's going to the bin. Matt James is going to the bin. Penalty to the Wolfpack. Somebody else is being called out for Worthington. Did he run in? Who ran in?
Well, he may get something for...
I think he's taking the captain's role here, Worthington, because as Sims is off the field. So he's saying, calm down, boys, don't run in. Leave it to the referee. James is 10 minutes on the naughty step. Fozard is now probably in charge of the Eagles.
So the Eagles will be running down a man for the rest of the first, and then about 2 minutes of the second. Something similar happened to the Wolfpack last week as they look for their 3rd straight try, a little bit of room, and then rolling forward with it was Ackers. And then this one flipped back out. Wallace couldn't handle that, and then bouncing around, and then a little bit of room. The Eagles almost got away with it, but then...
Well, Krasnicki threw a shocker from double half.
Josh Jewell was right there to pick it up.
And they got a result at the back of it, Sheffield, because we're prepared to get off their line, so...
Wallace right there to wrap up.
Also, Krasnicki needs to practice his dummy half passing, for sure.
Worthington there as well. That sort of came as a shock, and now the Eagles will get a chance here to strike back. Far side trying to cut up through. Is Patty Burns as it comes back out. And then finding a little space around half and a little bit of room ahead of him as he's going to try and dummy it and then run through a little more, and then Wallace is there.
Great break from McHale on the inside there. Got released. Fozard now trying to improve the situation.
McHale found a little room, and then Fozard here as he's run down, but that's exactly what the Eagles need. Is this one is just punched through and then fumbled a little bit.
They've got a result. That's what they wanted. They're down a man. They get a break from their fullback. McKaylin busts through, looks like he's scoring. Fossard goes close, and then Aston manufactures a kick that Worthington can't handle and spills his beans and knocks the ball on. So it's a head and feet scrum to Sheffield.
And Worthington just couldn't pick that one up as it bounced in on him, had trouble with it. So Sheffield gets their chance here, down 24-4. Time winding down. Just under 6 minutes to go. These things get sorted out. And that one tough for Worthington. You know he's going to be thinking about that one for a little bit, especially if this goes the Eagles' way. Is running in there. Ackers was there for the tackle. Backs off. Far side here, and then just rumbling forward. And did they get him up, rolling him over before the line? As Offerdahl, as it comes back, and then just not able to keep his feet, was Weldon. So the Eagles losing a little bit of ground here, and then this one's bouncing all around, and they fake it back, and then just wrapped up quickly. Worthington in there. Wallace as well, making sure he's not going to get to his feet, as McKaylin couldn't go anywhere with it. Try again, then brought down quickly as Burns. And not a lot of space here as this one kicked through and then knocked out the back.
Smart play again from Aston. The Burns boys have been pivotal in what's been happening there with the man down. They've had a crack at the right-hand side, and Weldon's had a crack at the line. The execution of the play wasn't too good left to right. They come back to Corey Aston on the kick play, which you have to say he's executed really, really well. Chase from Fossard have had. The Wolfpack themselves have had to bat the ball out, so 6 more defensive plays themselves.
And all you can really do in this situation, especially being down 1 for the rest of the first half, is just keep giving yourselves chances, even if you're not scoring. The Wolfpack's not, so it's not getting any farther for them.
That's a kick and a half, isn't it?
He nearly kicked it the length of the field.
70 metres. Oscar Thomas having to go back and retrieve the ball and gets belted and near his own 30-40 metre mark. They wouldn't have expected that, Sheffield. Boom. Another carry from one of the Burns.
And if you're going to give a fresh 6 within the shadow of your own end, you may as well kick it like that, get yourself some breathing room for Toronto.
They come up with a forward pass as well. So it's, again, not what they would have wanted. Adjudicating that the pass from Fossard to Yeri was forward. Good line speed, you have to say, on that right-hand side from the Wolfpack. So other improvements I'm sure they're looking in and around is getting to the offensive player as quick as they possibly can. It's a little bit like a boulder when it, or a snowball. Not that you'd know about snowballs in this kind of weather, but certainly in the winter in Toronto, if you let it roll down the hill, it's pretty much bigger at the bottom than it is at the top.
Around November, we can start making snowballs again.
Yeah.
Right now, they don't have a chance. When it's this hot, there's not even snow in our freezers.
Stanley with the opening carry from the scrum.
Toronto substitution coming into the game. Number 10,
Ashton
Sims.
Sims comes back in. And he'll get right out there on the left-hand side. Wallace takes this one, jumps inside, jumps back to the out. He's got his feet still, and then dragged down just before he could get in for the try. Wallace quickly back and then turned over immediately.
It was offside. So the referees adjudicate. I think Fossard have flown out the line there because there's an opportunity on the right-hand side for the Wolfpack. Wallace has created the dent, gone near close, gone real close, and then he's trying to go to the fringes, and the only way that the Eagles could stop that play was be offside, so they jumped the gun before the ball was played.
Sims rumbling down. This one back out to Wallace. Wallace long in stride and a lot of space right there as Hickson gets on the board here late for the Wolfpack.
Well, it's Briley's pass selection in the end. We've gone to that right-hand side where he's had a good start to this first half as Ryan Briley, and his pass selection there, Thomas and Miller both have to come in because they're outnumbered. But remember, they're a man down, so they have to make some decision. This Sheffield left-hand side defence have stripped them for numbers on this right-hand offensive side for the Wolfpack. And here you go. Riley gets the ball out there, and two defenders on the outside. All he has to do is, that's threading the needle over the top, the pass selection. Hickson has to hold his run and make sure he's available, but Stanley's there on the short ball with O'Brien, and both Thomas and Miller and Yeri, they just got no chances. Great pass selection and great finish.
Thomas might be looking at that, wishing he was a couple inches taller. If he had it, he's there.
Yeah.
He could have been taking it the other way too, like Spedding did earlier.
And that's why the pass was so credible, precise, if you like. That's a better word.
So for the 5th time this afternoon, O'Brien lining things up. 4 for 4 here as time winds down in the first half. And it was straight, but a little bit offline.
Yeah, he slapped to that, didn't he? Didn't get good contact on the ball. Disappointed, but 28-4. So there'll be too much of a rush. Well, it's the pass play, and well, that's the end of it. You just have to catch it. Put the ball down.
Here's at the end of the first half. The score is Sheffield 4.
And that will mark the end of the first half. First half, Brian, where the Wolfpack, at times it seemed like they hit a couple of speed bumps, for the most part in control.
Yeah, a bit of pressure with a couple of decent kicks from young Aston. I think it's important that we're cognizant of the fact that they're managing the game as well as they can. The Wolfpack, they look very strong in and around the middle, and when they've gone to the fringes in the main, they've made the right decisions. Eagles have aimed up and had to do to restrict the scoreline to what it is at the moment. So I don't think too many strong words from the Wolfpack coach.
Eagles have certainly had their chances, but the Wolfpack in control, 28-4 through the first half here at Lamport Stadium. We'll be back with more after this. Toronto Wolfpack Rugby is presented in partnership with Air Transat. Air Transat, vacation is calling. And it's brought to you by Maple Leaf Diamonds, true Canadian treasures, as well as by TechSavvy, 20 years of being different in a good way.
Europe is calling, with direct flights to 27 destinations. Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
If you're looking for a new car, you'll love Autotrader.ca. Down here, we have the largest selection of new cars in Canada with the most makes and models. So for great deals from trusted dealers, visit Autotrader.ca. That's a lot of new cars.
There's a smarter way to shop. Take it from over 3.5 million satisfied members who know. Ebates gives you cash back on purchases at over 750 stores. That's cash back even on things you were going to buy anyway. All you have to do is start at ebates.ca, find your favorite stores, and shop like you normally would. Sign up for free and get your share of over $40 million in cash back earned. Join today for a $5 welcome bonus. Ebates, where it pays to shop.
Pollutants can build up indoors, gases, odors, and particles. So Dyson's purifying fans use sensors to detect them, capturing them inside sealed HEPA and carbon filters to clean the air. Then air multiplier technology projects 290 litres of air per second, purifying your whole room and cooling you in summer.
shop direct at dysoncanada.ca.
Discover another taste on McDonald's World Taste Tour with our new Italian pesto chicken sandwich. So from July 2nd to July 15th, you can add a taste of Italy to your day. Creamy pesto aioli sauce, fresh arugula, all topped with shaved Parmesan. Get a taste of the new Italian pesto chicken sandwich, the second stop on the World Taste Tour.
One of the major perks of working at Ford is that I get employee pricing all year round.
And during the summer, every Canadian gets to share in that price.
You get it at the price I pay.
It's very easy to walk in and say, I want that Mustang.
I've literally gone coast to coast in a Ford truck. I could not do what I do without a Ford F-150.
I have an Escape. Its name is Nellie. Nellie's ready to go wherever I want to go.
I'm just cool cruising down the road. I'm the boss in this SUV.
Now is the time with the best selection.
What are you waiting for?
Same hotel, same price? No! There's a bunch of different prices out there all over the internet. Trivago instantly compares them to find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Europe is calling with direct flights to 27 destinations. Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
Welcome back to Toronto Wolfpack Rugby. At the half is presented by Maple Leaf Diamonds, true Canadian treasures, and there are plenty of happy folks in the stands as the Wolfpack are up 28-4, and the man with the last score of the first half, Adam Higson, a triumphant return for him, and he caught up with our own Sam McDade.
Thanks, Brian. We're alongside Adam Higson, whose first game back as well as the first try to put the cherry on the cake of coming back. What's the game been like so far for you?
The game's been tough. Not played for a long time, so just good to be back out here. But the heat's tough, and it's nice to get a try there at the end. But just glad to be back playing with the boys, and hopefully we can kick on in the second half and finish the job off.
Adam, can you taste the shield yet?
Almost. The job's not done yet. Another 40 minutes to go yet, so let's keep the foot on the throat and get the job done.
Thanks so much. Appreciate your time. Cheers, Adam Higson will send it back upstairs now to Brian.
Sam, thank you very much, and plenty of happy fans around here in Toronto, and they've got a first half that they had a lot to cheer about, Brian.
Yeah, they were strong in many respects. I think the physical prowess and their power show. But here's the first goal. Riley cutting in at the line gives O'Brien Stanley an opportunity on that right-hand side. Yeah, they just can't close this down, the Eagles. Chase Stanley's too big, too quick there. Menzieri can't quite make the play. Great score, and here we go again. This is Briley thinking, I'm having a slice of this cake, and steps and jabs off his right foot on a couple of occasions. Bezic, there he goes. There's two defenders on the inside, and they can't quite clean it up, so one-way traffic at the moment, and here's Dixon. This isn't a flash try, but it's a great try nonetheless. Scatters the pigeons around the line, and Bob Bezic dives over from 1 metre. I might give him 2 metres, who knows yet, 1 metre. So he's got his spoils there, and yeah, I think he's going to laugh and joke about that. Here's O'Brien with a bang. There's a right-hand fend on Corey Aston, and he gets into the backfield, and so many white jumpers in the backfield to stop the try. Rich Whiting flicking the ball in the crowd. There's a handoff. Bang! Gareth O'Brien sticks it under the chin of Corey Aston, and inside ball to Richard Whiting, and pretty pleased about that, Rich. And here's Sims banging at the line, and Znicki out there. Ackers finds Briley, who picks his pass selection over the top for, as we spoke about that try for AJ Adam Higson at the end. Boom, Oscar Thomas. You're right. A few inches taller may have had an opportunity, but in the end, the pass selection from Briley was too good.
That last one just glancing off his fingertips as you get a look at some of the fans in attendance here at Lamport Stadium, and the Wolfpack have been all about selling rugby over here in North America, and a big part of that is through digital marketing. Of course, the landscape is changing not only here in Canada, but worldwide. Earlier, Sam McDade had a chance to catch up with the Wolfpack's digital marketing coordinator.
Thanks, Brian. Alongside Amy Stoparchak, Digital Marketing Coordinator of our Toronto Wolfpack, as well as a member of the Ontario Women's Rugby League, who we saw tearing up this turf ahead of our game last week. Amy, what was that experience like for you playing on the turf here at Lamport Stadium?
Yeah, it was an excellent experience for all the girls in the Ontario Women's Rugby League Association. We got to play on the pitch before the Wolfpack. And it was our biggest turnout of the year, so I think that really shows what kind of reach the Wolfpack have and how we can use the Wolfpack's platforms as well as the ORLs to really grow the rugby league in Canada.
Speaking about growing the rugby league in Canada, you've mentioned that you follow rugby league and rugby in general on a higher platform. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think the Canadian women's sport is really growing. We saw at Rio 2016, our Canadian women's rugby sevens team just completely tore up the tournament. They placed bronze behind Australia and New Zealand, which was really great to see as a big step forward for Canadian women's rugby. And then we saw a 2017 the Canadian Women's Rugby League team, our first ever one that we fielded. They went to Australia, competed, and they made it to the semifinals, losing to Australia. So I think in 2 years, those were two really big steps for Canadian women's rugby in Canada, and it's only going to grow from here.
Amy, a key theme I find at these games and with the Toronto Wolfpack underlying, and you can speak to this as a digital marketing coordinator for them, is that the rugby, they're trying to grow it in Canada, and the Wolfpack are trying to outreach and bring everybody in. Can you speak towards the growth, and do you think that rugby is going to catch on in Canada in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I just see the sport growing so much here. It's such an inclusive sport. Everyone can play it, men's, women's, kids, touch, flag, wheelchair. It doesn't matter. There's so many variations of the sport, and that makes it really inclusive, and everyone can get involved. So it's a game for everyone.
Amy, before I let you go, it's Make-A-Wish Day here at the game, which is a wonderful organization. Can you speak from that digital marketing standpoint once again, just on what the Wolfpack are doing here today?
Yeah, we're so excited. We're going to have 6 Wish kids down here. They get to interact with the players. They're going to be on the field with them. And we're so happy to make those kids' days. I know the players are really excited as well. And the fans, everybody has purchased a ticket today. A portion of their ticket sale has gone towards Make-A-Wish. We've also had Wish Stars at the Toronto Wolfpack storefront that people can purchase and provide a donation, and then stick a star up on the storefront. So we're really excited to have our first Make-A-Wish game day, and we hope everyone's enjoying it.
Thank you, Amy. We appreciate your time so much. You can find Amy on the Twitter handle. She's the woman behind the account, so we'll let her head back to the press box. Thanks so much. We'll send it back up to you, Brian.
Sam, thank you very much. 28-4 at the half, but the one big highlight coming for the Eagles, Brian, it was a big run from Jake Spedding.
Yeah, he picked the pocket real well because I think he was outnumbered, so he had a choice. You either go for the intercept off O'Brien or you concede the score to Kay. But he's coming off his wing, he's picked his pocket, and he shows a fair pair of heels, doesn't he? His wheels are spinning. And he's been run down by Briley and by Kay, who turned around and tried to catch him, but no catching him. He was gone, and that's probably their best and only highlight of the game.
Spedding sped all the way down there for the Eagles, but that's all they've got so far. Sam mentioned that it's Make-A-Wish Day here at Lamport Stadium, and she also caught up with Audrey Bowman.
Thanks so much, Brian. I'm here alongside Audrey Bauman. And Audrey, you work with the Toronto Wolfpack and today are working with the Wolfpack with Make-A-Wish Foundation. It is Make-A-Wish Game. What's going on here today at this event?
So we have a number of different initiatives going on to raise funds to grant wishes for wish children. So this partnership started with $2 from every ticket purchased for today's game, went directly back to the foundation, along with outside the shop starting at 3:30. We were collecting donations for Wish Stars, where you would fill out a Wish Star and stick it on the front window of the shop to show how many people have out here to support Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is really fantastic. We have 6 Wish kids who are present today. We're really excited. It's their first rugby game for all of them, so we're taking them for a locker room experience and really hoping that they're going to enjoy the day with us.
And for these Wish kids, what do you think the highlight of this day is going to be, other than meeting the players and kind of taking in the game?
It's a really fantastic opportunity for them to just hang out with their families and experience. It's a gorgeous day. It's just a new experience for them, so I think they'll really enjoy that.
Very awesome. And before I let you go, how can people get involved in Make-A-Wish Foundation?
So even if you aren't attending the game today, you can still stop by the store and purchase a Wish Star, make a donation. You can also head to the Make-A-Wish Canada website and make a donation on their website to support their initiative.
Audrey, thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks so much.
We appreciate your time. We'll send it back upstairs to Brian.
Thank you very much, Sam. And Brian, that's a pretty cool initiative from the team to join up with Make-A-Wish.
Fabulous initiative. I think it's worthwhile. Everybody, we see the product on the field, and sometimes we don't reflect on what people are trying to do off the field as well. And I just think it's such a worthwhile charity, and Make-A-Wish, we can benefit some kids out there. They're doing it tough as well, then it's fabulous.
Great initiative by the Wolfpack. They're hoping for a great second half. That's coming up after the break. Toronto Wolfpack Rugby is presented in partnership with Air Transat. Vacation is calling. And it's brought to you by Maple Leaf Diamonds, true Canadian treasures, as well as by Tech Savvy, 20 years of being different in a good way.
I finally figured out what car to get. Now, where to find the best deal?
You know, why don't I help?
What's that?
Car Gurus. Color?
Silver. Car Gurus?
Low miles, 2 grand below market value, 5-star dealer rating. Ooh, I'm beat.
Let's do it your way then.
I heard that.
Go to Car Gurus today to find great deals from top-rated dealers near you.
Ever since I learned a language with Babbel, I don't feel like an outsider anymore. Sandwich. The short lessons are great for my busy schedule. Do you have a cheese sandwich? They're created by experts, but don't cost the world, so you have more money to treat yourself. I feel like a real local. Hot. Driver free today.
Welcome back to Lamport Stadium here in Toronto, Ontario, where it's the second half just about to get underway. Second half action is presented in partnership with Air Transat. Vacation is calling, and Brian, we were talking about it in the break. It wasn't a great second half last week from the Wolfpack against Lee, and that's something that they've got a chance to rectify here against Sheffield.
Yeah, I didn't think it was great last week. I think putting two halves together sounds pretty simple, does it? But you know, they had a big lead at the half last week. They've got a big lead here. I think they've got to keep their disciplines and keep their procedures, and Sheffield have to challenge those.
Krasnicki and Sims in on that tackle. And then quick to it once again is Whiting helping to get in there as well. And then Ashton Sims just flattening.
Which one of the Burns, wasn't it?
Looked like Patty Burns, who was running into that wall.
Good tackle.
Eagles, though, moving things upfield as they're going to just punch this one through, bouncing towards the corner. And
smart kick a sideline. There's Ashton Sims trying to make his mark early in his second half. Bit of help there from Ackers as well.
Rob and Cass Mason all the way in England want to wish big
It's a dominant tackle.
good luck to the guys on the team. We have a new Wolfpack fan, Lauren.
Little hand to the face after as well. Good measure.
Welcome, baby.
All's
Lizzie
fair.
Watson into the
All's
world.
fair in love and rugby.
Also, we have Andrea Simpson here.
And it's a good kick from Aston. Remember, they're a man down. 2 minutes of this second half as well.
That is true, as that penalty Eagles took carrying over. As the Wolfpack try and push this one out. There's, looks like Rosthorn trying to get free with it. A little dummy there, and then making his way out, and then dragged back. Ackers. It's back to his feet, and they're going to work the right side this time as Sidlow tries to find a little room and then muscles his way back. As they just cross midfield here, and Krasnicki continues just to work his way, slither forward, quick pass to the side. Sidlow again getting a little bit after the initial contact, but the tackle bringing him down as Greg Burns was in there quickly, and the Wolfpack will sky this one down, quick to go up for it, coming down, despite the fact it was contested in there. Looked like Hickson was right in his face, but Eagles able to control there.
Good catch from McCallum again. A lot of pressure on him, a lot of white jumpers around him. Yeri was the second carry, trying to clear their lines now. I think James is back on the field, so they're back to a full complement.
Yeri hasn't found a whole lot of space this afternoon, and talking about not finding a lot of space.
It's Krasniki and Sims again. They're certainly making their mark in this second half.
Spedding couldn't make his way to his 30 there.
Something's gone on here.
As James gets his first touch, and
somebody's had a word with the referee. Now that's the discipline aspect for the Eagles. So just for our viewers, he's one of the blue jumpers, and this is a penalty in possession, which is a coach killer for sure. Has gobbed off at the referee. He's said something inappropriate the referee doesn't like, and here's Matty James again. So is it him, or is it the captain that he's being called out? So that respect element with the officials has to continue. Free field position here for the Wolfpack, and Sims carries the ball into the teeth of the Eagles defense.
Sims makes the best of it as it comes back. Brierly quick on the outside. Stanley working his way through. Chase Stanley got everything started earlier today. As now it'll come back as Brierly. Quick little dump off there, and another quick little pass through, and they're going to try and work it down, muscle it through. About 4 Blues right there.
Yeah, good defense. Thomas involved as well as James coming back to make a play with Fozzard.
And the Eagles have done a good job on that so far, as it's not the first time that they've kept Dixon from rolling over for a try. As now the Wolfpack go to work, quick passing. They just can't make it back to the Eagles' 10. So they'll try again. This one into Sims. Sims a little bit of a dummy there, and then wiggles his way up. Coming back as Brierly punts this one up and over, and then caught in stride and set down. As Adam Hickson wrapped up the first half, and he kicks off the second half with a try.
Well, it's a great last play. It's Adam Hickson, who's 6'2", 6'3". Probably jumps about 8'3". I think he outjumps Oscar Thomas here on the end of the play. Here we go. Here's the last play. Route 1 from Sims. Lays the platform. Brierly dinks the ball up, and Hickson jumps above Oscar Thomas there, who's not in the picture really. It's not the best effort from Thomas, and a better effort from Hickson. Climbs and climbs well. Plucks it out of the air and plonks it over the line. So Route 1 from Sims. Lays the platform. Brierly gets the kicking duties and puts it on the button for Adam Hickson.
So after he was out for a while with that collarbone injury, took him a little bit to get back into the feel of this one, but now back-to-back tries, must be feeling pretty good.
Well, we discussed it at the top of the show, didn't we? We discussed that a bit of pressure for. Remember, Matty Russell's been on fire, playing really well these last few weeks. He gets a rest this week. Adam Hickson comes back. Boy, oh boy, the head coach has got some things to think about, hasn't he?
Well, we said it off the top, and I'm not sure if you've heard this before, but high-class problem to have, and I'm sure the Wolfpack aren't turning it down at this point.
I'm not using it yet. I like it, but I'm not using it yet.
Well,
it's definitely a problem.
It'll wear on you. As O'Brien curls this one through. Didn't make the one on Hickson's first try, but converts there.
Well, there's the kick. Great skill from Brierly to pinpoint the accuracy there, and really thrilled with that, Adam Hickson.
Especially for him, it must be a really good feeling to come back and have that success.
Yeah, you are nervous about injuries and will it reoccur, or clearly, and you just got to have the mindset to say, well, it is what it is.
Bouncing kick down here, picked up by Dixon. He goes for a little run as he falls beyond his own 20.
I think Sidlow's been impressive again. He's rumbled into the line. Good defense there from Burns again. Sims, Route 1.
And again, Sims coming back from that leg injury, was excited to get back on the pitch as this one comes up and somersaults forward just around midfield. Kay now with it, Lindsay's wrestled down as well. And this one will be kicked up once again. Sky just hanging up there and then coming forward and trying to play it, but
it's a penalty to the Wolfpack. He's offside. Oscar Thomas has gone for that ball, touched it, not cleaned it up. He's having a bit of difficulty with the kick play at the moment, Oscar Thomas, and then I couldn't see which Sheffield, maybe James was in front or Pick was in front. One of them was in front of the line there, and so penalty to the Wolfpack.
Thomas just not able to handle that one, jumped up and went right between his arms, knocking off his foot, so the Wolfpack get ideal positioning once again. Wallace in quickly, Whiting looked like he was stripped.
I think that's a try.
And the Wolfpack seemed to have lucked out.
Well, Nick Rawsthorne's on the field. We didn't see that interchange. It must have been a half time, and Whiting's had the ball stripped, as you quite rightly say, Brian, and I think Rawsthorne's just picked it up, plonked it over the line. So here's the play. Wallace goes at the line, right into the teeth. Richard Whiting there picks out Corey Aston, who strips the ball and has to, and Nick Rawsthorne will never score an easier try as to put his hands on the ball. There's Wallace going at the line. Aston can't quite handle Whiting, but dislodges the ball from his grasp, and Nick Rawsthorne says, thank you very much, Richard Whiting. Thank you very much, Corey Aston.
You said it doesn't get much easier for him there. And especially for the Wolfpack, they're breathing a little easier being the first one to that.
Yeah, I think it's about discipline in the second half, discipline of the mind. You know, they clearly have got a good half-time lead again, and keeping your focus. I think Adam Hickson called it, and I think he used the expression, keeping your foot on the throne. I think it's maybe restricting them and restricting their breathing and restricting. So you've got to, with the games to come at the back end of the year, you really got to get that element of discipline, of thought all the time.
And he wasn't a part of that second half against Lee, but you know that he heard about it as well in what happened to them, and that nobody on this club would have been happy with the way that that closed out. So
it really is a good collective thought process for the whole squad, not just the team. There's O'Brien with another successful effort
as he tucks that one just inside. So just one miss on the afternoon for Gareth O'Brien, and already the second half looking better for the Wolfpack.
I just think it's discipline of procedure. Here's Whiting with the carry. Aston strips it. Rawsthorne picks it up, plonks it over the whitewash. Says the referee, well, they stripped it. There's a lead-up play from Sidlow again, very direct. Burns quite handling, quick play of the ball. Acker's out there. Wallace going at the line, and a one-on-one effort there with Corey Aston does well to strip the ball, but they can't clean it up.
Eagles kick here. Wolfpack back to work as they rumble it out past the 20. Sean Pick in on that tackle, as well as Matty James.
Number 12, Sean Pick, and number 20, Maxine Garcia.
Krasniq's carried the ball well as well, hasn't he? Good leg drive, meters after contact. Oh, what a catch from Kay.
And Liam Kay just reaching back with that right hand and picking that ball out of the air on the pass from Sims.
And another penalty, unfortunately. Head high on Ackers. So the speed of the play of the ball for our viewers in Canada, because they're in and around the play of the ball, the ruck area, the Wolfpack are rolling forward and got quick runs. It enables Ackers to run out of there, and he's got great speed. And unfortunately, the blue shirts can only stop his territory by hitting around the head, which is a penalty. Illegal, too high the tackle, not intentional clearly, but just the speed of the play of the ball is making them struggle getting back on side.
Ackers starts this one off to Brierley, who got it in. Ashton Sims just beyond the 10, back to Brierley. He ducks in and out and then slides down.
James with the stop.
As James kept him down. Sims here passes it back. Wallace cuts back inside. Wallace, a little bit of space. And the man who has been red hot over the past couple of weeks, Wallace, keeps it going for the Wolfpack.
Well, in many respects, you just need a one-on-one opportunity if you're in a wide jumper. And it's getting a bit hot to handle. He's shown his footwork again. Stepping Burns like he wasn't there. That's a big step. That's a big jab. He's just done it. He's boom off his left foot. That's a great finish from Sims with the ball out the back. Catch from Wallace, whoosh. So, Greg Burns just can't quite handle, but you have to say he's not on his own this season, is he?
Especially lately, Wallace has been on fire. That hair isn't as bright as it was a couple of weeks ago.
I think he's hoping it grows out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, well, it's something when you lose a bet. I think it was over. I think it was over FIFA, not the World Cup going on. But I think they were just playing video games.
He's probably been an Australian gone against the English, but everybody knows he's coming home.
O'Brien continues to just be automatic this afternoon, but all season long as well.
Well, there you go. That's the end result of Wallace's great footwork. And the smiles on faces behind the sticks, and the cameraman must have been knocked over.
He was just down in the middle of the excitement. Wolfpack go to work once again, this time on the far side. Liam Kay wrangled down here, Ritherick trying to get out of that.
Well, they just got to put a thumb in the dike here, thumb in the hole. They're leaking at the moment, the Eagles, and coping with 2 and 3 defensive players, but they've got to put a set of 6 together defensive. It's like with the ball, you've got to put a set together. You've got to put 6 players together when you know you're going to get the ball back, but that's easier said than done with the way that the Wolfpack are rock and rolling.
Well, and they have just stomped on them to open this second half.
So far, this is a good set from Sheffield defensively. Get themselves a bit of kick pressure, and Briley has to kick for yardage, which is the first time today, as I can remember. The first time that McCalem's fielded the ball, so good set defensively from the Eagles there. Now what can they do with the ball?
McCalem wrangled down. Sidlow is in on it. Emmett in on this one. As there's 3 white shirts in there as well, and
that's a good win from Yeri, because he's
Yeri,
up 3 big.
He just continued to drive forward, and Yeri making up a little bit of lost ground on that one. Getting the Eagles a little bit of space to work with then as they're out across midfield. Burns.
He's looking for a kicker, he's Burns, and Aston barking and screaming, I needed another play, I need another play, now give me the ball and I'll kick it.
Had nowhere to go with it, and then this one will just be kicked through, and it sounds like they're arguing whether or not Liam Kay might have touched it on the way out.
Well, let's see what they fit now. Officials saying no, he didn't. You have to say that a good defensive set put together with a little bit of a smart offensive set, clearly playing for the sidelines. They don't want to have Wolfpack to have the ball. The challenge now is, go on, do it again, Sheffield. Do it again. Keep them the territory restricted. See if they can force an error maybe in there and get some decent field position with the opportunity to score themselves. But pretty methodical at the moment, the Wolfpack. They'll be patient as well.
Wolfpack playing from way ahead right now. 3 tries here in the early going of the second half. Have them up 44-4. 14 minutes gone in this second as they're out just inches beyond their own 30, and then rolling forward there as Hickson got this run started in the second half. Back to Wallace, he gets it back outside, and then hit quickly was Whiting.
He got dumped, Richard.
It takes a lot to take a man of his size down that hard.
That was a good tackle, good set. They put a couple of sets together here, Sheffield. They're a crack, aimed up, Offloads, dumps, anything you want out to Dixon now, trying to make some inroads, but well handled Sheffield.
And it looked like the Wolfpack were going to go backwards there as Brierly skies this one up. Wolfpack watching it, bounces forward. They'll pick it up. And a lot of space ahead of him, rumbling towards, and just brought down early was Rossthorn.
Well, I think everybody was waiting for that to happen. When the ball hits the ground, nobody knows. Rawson thought, I'll have that, and made himself 15, 20 minutes with the last play. They've aimed up there, Sheffield. They've done okay for 2. Now it's 3. It's a relentless game, this. So, and the challenge of the Wolfpack is to stay strong defensively.
Yeri looking for a little bit of room. Again, hard to pull down as he threw an arm out there to try and get a little bit of space. Instead, he's brought down. Eagles try again. McCallum. There's not a lot of room for him either. So Burns will pass it off. And then it's quickly out there, bouncing, taking off the hop, and then looking to cut the gap a little bit. Wallace drags him down from behind, and he's wrapped up around Liam Kay's leg.
Half a break there from Sheffield, so making more inroads than they have for most of this game, which will be enthusing them. And there's that kick from Aston again. So clear game plan here from the Sheffield Eagles. We're going to have a rest. We're going to kick the ball to the sidelines. We're going to walk to scrums. They managed the second half probably better, but I do think that the Wolfpack have as well. You know, they've been a lot stronger. I thought they were loose last week. Certainly been more determination with their mindset. But credit to Sheffield Eagles, so have they.
I know it's been a little unseasonably warm back home for Sheffield, but I mean, this is something that, as we get a look at the crowd enjoying the shade on this Saturday here in Canada, this is something they've had to deal with at home. But do you think the heat is starting to get to them here as well?
I think it's the same for both teams. You know, if you come here with the thought process it's going to be hot, and you won't compete. So you have to come here with the thought process. We're good at certain things, and Dixon here with a strong carry. Sims getting the rest of the sidelines now, being replaced by Lussick coming in there. Emmett with an inside ball. Get that in here. It's a good shot by Sean Pickard.
Sean Pick got right up there to
Gareth O'Brien
to fill that hole, and Gareth O'Brien's taking a couple. Brierly here skies this one back. McCallum takes it, not a lot of room, ducks his way out of Gareth O'Brien, and then runs right into the waiting arms of Dixon.
It's a little bit more like a traditional arm wrestle at the moment. Sheffield going set for set.
As Spedding dragged down as well.
Sounding, yeah, I think there's a sideline to touchies. Sideline referees onto the field, informing the referee that talking about tip some legs beyond the 90 degrees. You're not allowed to tip legs beyond the 90 degrees. The sideline official will adjudicate that happened. There was a penalty given by the referee, so another result for Sheffield. Last 10 minutes, they're pretty weird, played pretty much how they would have wanted to start the game. But there's the jukebox, Menzieri, only knows one way.
And he just ran right into the heart of the Wolfpack. But again, a big man to try and bring down as Burns was in there. He's
copped a few today, he Burns.
Well, the two of them have taken a couple big hits. And speaking of another one right there, running into 3 Wolfpack, including Sidlau, who's on top of everything. Stanley there as well. As the Eagles look to find a little bit of space, thought they might have had it, but dragged down quickly, looking for a little bit more, and then right into that big bear hug. Rossthorn.
Good read from Rossthorn.
Just jumped right up into the play and took McCallum out of it. Rubber through here and bobbled a little bit, but O'Brien able to hold on to it. He's dragged out.
I've given the penalty there. O'Brien clearly thought he got to ground. Fozzard there saying, no, we got him out on the sideline, sir. But no, the referee didn't see it that way. So penalty to the Wolfpack.
Wallace, quick little pass there as the Wolfpack continue to push it back out. And they work it over near side here. Quick passing here and then deciding to cut back up with it. And for a little bit of room was O'Brien as he's held down to the turf there by Matty James. As again, dragging out to the 40. James in there as well. Looks like Thomas too. As Lussick couldn't find anywhere to go.
Sidlow rumbling forward after Lussick. He's copped an injury there, Lussick. So Ackers is off, gone, broken, middle.
He's got a lot of room right here. Hanging on
his inside, Gareth O'Brien.
And Gareth O'Brien, he's been money kicking all afternoon, and then he cracks one up of his own here, and the shield is firmly within grasp of the Wolfpack.
Well, the dike broke, and that dike was just creaking and creaking, and one of the planks went on the dike, and then it just went boom on the back of Ackers, speeding out of dummy half and exposing a tired middle from the Sheffield team. Look, people left on the floor. Andy Ackers makes a right decision, boom, picks out manager, I think Sean Pick, and gets him, and he's got Gareth O'Brien on his inside and Ryan Briley on his outside. Again, good support play. There goes Ackers. Can't quite get back Sean Pick and make the play, and Gareth O'Brien, like any good fullback, backing up the middle. Wade Wallace really happy about that for some reason.
So now Gareth O'Brien's giving himself a little extra work on the afternoon, but I'm sure he's not complaining about that.
The Championship Shield is firmly in Toronto now.
As O'Brien boots that one through, and the Wolfpack, it's been a couple of weeks now. I mean, they essentially wrapped things up last week because going into that match against Lee, they needed 4 points as we get another look at the try.
Well, there's Ackers. He's going through it. The dam broke and he outbreak it. It was what's happened before. Sidlow, Sneaky and Sims and Lussick, and nice patience. There he goes, I'm off. And he's real strong in the hips. Gareth O'Brien who's sniff an opportunity. They sniffed the play. And Sheffield were doing well, but got into the the wrestle, the arm to arm, the play by play, and shot.
Big hit there. Ashworth stepping up. Toole as well. As Ashworth in again, driving for the legs and trying to take Whiting down. Didn't go to the ground, but momentum stopped. So then Wolfpack looking for a little bit of room, and then Chase Stanley dropped the shoulder, worked his way back towards the middle a little bit of space for Dixon as well, as he's tagged down around midfield. So the dummy there worked back in. And this one just rolling out.
He's gone for the sideline there, Briley.
Right out to 20.
They've cleared their own end. It's probably getting a bit warm out there and trying to manage the game towards the end. And let's aim up on the next defensive set. Sheffield, they've been better in the second half, Sheffield. But I have to say that Toronto have gone on with the game as well.
That's one of the things that they didn't necessarily have last week. Didn't quite stick with it defensively. Let Lee get back into it. The score closer than you might have expected if you were paying attention to the first half in that one.
Well, Lee are a good team. good teams that come to Toronto, and the Wolfpack still have to face this year. Won't give you those opportunities, and they've already snuck back up and got themselves a win late. They'll be thrilled about what they did in the second half.
As a team firmly in the battle for promotion, though, the Wolfpack found some things to clean up from that. And it looks like they've addressed some of the issues that sort of showed up there, as Burns is met by Dixon and 2 others. Tries to wriggle free, but can't. Coming over to Thomas there. Quick passing back. A little bit of room on that far side, but along for the ride is Wallace. Rosthorn in there as well, as they'll ride them out just beyond midfield. So Eagles looking for it, and then there was just off the fingertips there. And again, the Eagles.
Well, it's about being in people's faces. The line speed's better from the team in white in relation to, we talked about the second half, it's probably pretty non-existent. But they've got in faces there, and that's led to the spill and field position. It's hard to keep disciplined when you know the game's won, when you know that there's a bit of silverware at the end of the field waiting for you at the end of the game. You keep your thought processes going. Same for Sheffield in this weather.
If you're interested in sponsoring a player, please contact Andre. TorontoWolfpack.com.
That's one of the things too that Adam Higson talked about, was that despite being up big at half, one of the things that they can't do is they can't get ahead of themselves, because at that point you get undisciplined, you start taking penalties, and you get a little more sloppy. And the Wolfpack have proven that with the way they've come out, as Stanley taken down by Thomas.
That's pretty much a metaphor for the rest of the season. Nothing's won here. The championship is won, and that's a reflection of how good this team has been all year. And it's absolutely thrilled for the coaches, for Paul and for Simon and for Kurt Haggerty. A great job is Wallace going at the line, and he couldn't quite make the play there. So first knock on by the Wolfpack. Oh no, suggesting the first knock on by. Let's have a look. Let's see where he points. No, first knock on by the Wolfpack, so didn't quite execute there.
And one of the other challenges for them as they look at the next couple of games here to wrap up July is staying healthy, because that's one of the other challenges too, is that you have these games, you want to stay sharp, but you also want to avoid anything that could hurt you when it comes to the next level.
Well, I agree with that sentiment, Brian, and staying healthy is a key to a successful season.
Wallace giving chase here, dragged down from behind, and then for good measure Rosthorn gets in there as well as Whiting.
He's run well today too.
His tool was there, Spedding now looking for a little bit of space, can't find any.
Somebody's here, don't know who it is.
And you saw immediately, and it initially looked like he tried to grab back maybe in the area of like his hamstring, but hard to tell now.
Is it Spedding on the ground?
I believe so.
Attention fans, today's winning 50-50 draw numbers are.
No, I think Spedding is just to the right of whoever's down. As you see, he came through.
Spedding.
That is him there.
He gets his leg caught underneath the defenders. I think he's just maybe hyperextended something, some part of his body. There you go, yeah, it's Spedding.
Yeah, so it was Spedding.
His knee goes slightly under his body. He's not happy. So look, he's been good as well, hasn't he? Goes into the line, Whiting underneath. Good tackle from Wallace, takes him sideways. No, maybe.
Well, they knew immediately.
Yeah, getting to his feet, good sign.
Because you saw Whiting was in there and immediately turned and called for help.
Going to play the ball, so he's sweet. I think he maybe turned his ankle, or his knee got caught underneath his body in the tackle.
A little gimpy getting out of that as he started things and then dragged down quickly. And then Thomas gets it back here. Oscar Thomas has nowhere to go as Dixon's right there and just running him backwards in his paces.
Well, they're good signs from the Wolfpack in relation to line speed and defence and getting forward.
Bessick
means
in there.
something to them.
Sidlow as well, as Burns can't find any room as Thomas gets it back. This one popped up all the way down. Clean handle for the Wolfpack, and then
nice catch, O'Brien. Nice kick and chase from the Wolfpack. Fozzard first down on McCalim. Just said, I don't know. Oh, well, they're giving a penalty away. Done something that you can't do. Not clean at marker, so Stanley on the next carry, we adjudicated to be offside, so a penalty to the Wolfpack. Give them the free 20 metres.
And a little bit of room for them to work here as time continues to tick away. 68th minute. Brierly, a little bit of room to Stanley. Stanley jumps over one tackle and then lands shy of the 40. As this one into Dixon. Dixon looking for a little bit of space, cutting back into the middle. He's got hands all over him, and he'll fall on top of the 20 as well. And
is that another penalty?
We've got another player down behind the play. Fozzard,
yeah. Bashed his head.
Still jogging.
He's asking him, so it's not a penalty. So saying Fozzard here, he comes across and an action there. He was dizzy, got his technique all right. He cocked a knee on the top of his head, so gets back in the line. The referee saying that he's okay. Great concussion protocols in the game now.
Looking for a little bit of space here as it's hand off to Lussick. Can't find any room out to Brierly. Brierly out wide. Stanley's got it. Stanley, the little dummy, and he's in. Chase Stanley's got his second of the game as time continues to tick down to what the Wolfpack are hoping will be a massive celebration.
Well, they just created a one-on-one for Chase Stanley. People realize it big, strong, I think, against Michael Weldon in the defensive line, steps him and carries him over the line. Brierly picks him out, misses out Dixon. Stanley's going out the line, so pretty much enough defenders there, but he just gets on the outside of Michael Weldon, and he doesn't need that kind of space, Chase Stanley, but if you give him it, he's going to take it all day long, and good finish from him. Been good today, hasn't he? Well, the whole Wolfpack have been good for me.
He has. He started things off very early in this one, 5 minutes in. 1 of 2 with a pair of tries, so he joins Adam Hickson, who has 2 beside his name this afternoon.
Coming to the game, USA International number 8, Mark Opperdahl.
As this lead has just continued to balloon for the Wolfpack in the second half.
Hasn't been flash, has it? It's just been methodical, which is good. Keeping your processes, keeping your defensive shape and discipline, which they've done. Because Sheffield have been good. They've aimed up the second half.
And just a little too much to this one, so O'Brien pushes his second of the afternoon. As he just curls it a little too much there.
Yeah. Are you disappointed with that?
But if 1 or 2 kicks here or there on the convert is the only thing you're going to be disappointed in on the afternoon, it's a pretty good afternoon.
Yeah. Pretty meticulous, the coaches of the Wolfpack. They'll look at everything clinically and see what has been done right and what's not quite been done right. Not get carried away.
This one's punched deep into the Wolfpack end, so they're going to run it out, get it past the 10. Davies is there. Zard is there. Bessick. Quick little pass as they rumble out to the 20.
Forced error from Offerdal and Pick getting in there. They're really enthused. See, they're lost their enthusiasm. Sidlow dropping the ball.
Nat just in the shadow of their own end here. Leaking a little bit down there.
Offerdal, yeah, carrying a few stars. He did that right from the start of the game, didn't he, Offerdal? So
seems like it's opened up a little bit.
Yeah, attacking opportunity for Sheffield here. Thomas to feed the scrum and see what play they've got.
Sheffield trying to line up their second try of the afternoon, and the Wolfpack swarm to that. Sidlow in as well. Wallace as they drag down Jack Ashworth, as they'll work once again. A little bit of space here. Feet keep moving all the way up to the 10. And the Eagles look for another bit of room. This ball's out. It's loose and it's kicked ahead. It's going to be inbound. Trying to win the foot race right here. Kicked ahead once again. And so long as it's the first one, Tua picks it up on the bounce. And Liam Kay, you can start the party.
Well, the horse bolted. That's excitement, isn't it? Liam Kay leathers the ball, leathers it twice. So here's the tech-savvy move of the game. Late on in this game, defending their own line, Liam Kay says, have it, bang. That's one kick. He gets the bounce as well. Everybody's chasing, bang, have another one. I hope this bounces for me. I hope this bounces for me. Boy, does it bounce for him, and dives over with the salute, and he'll love that. The tech-savvy move of the game is Liam Kay's double kick effort and on the bounce ball.
I don't think he could have asked for a better bounce on that second one. Even the first one, just to settle so he could run right into it.
Wow, he got 3. And yeah, on the back of Sheffield pounding at the line, I think the defensive shape of the Wolfpack's been a whole lot better this week, and you get your rewards offensively, as Liam Kay did there.
And there has been no let-up for the Toronto Wolfpack in the second half, as they've pushed it to 60 now. O'Brien's good on that one as well.
Here we go. So Sheffield pounding at the line. Aston doesn't quite find the pass play there. Toole overruns it and Kay's away. And he's hoping, I promise you, he's hoping. He's been chased by McCaleb. He's got 2 good kicks. He's got, like the Soccer World Cup. He's coming home, Liam. Just came home for you. Have you heard he's coming home? Well, there you go. But Liam Kay, there you go. Boom, left foot. Let's see what he does with the second one. Is it left foot? Left foot. Boom, right foot. Double-footed. Ambidextrous, I think they call it. Now he gets the bounce that he deserves, and whoosh. There you go.
Just showing off at that point.
Ah.
And there you get a look at the man who scored the most recent try for the Wolfpack as they work it back into the middle of the pitch here and just rumbling all the way out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank all Wolfpack and Sheffield Eagle fans for coming out here this afternoon.
As time continuing to tick away here, 75.
6,329.
We enter the 75th, 5 minutes to go as Fazard in there, Bessick down. Emmett rumbling, rolling with this as well, as Wolfpack don't seem to be done here. Skied out. This one coming up to play, a little bit of space there for McCaleb.
He's off.
And he looks to have a little bit of room here, and then just dragged down by Sidlow coming back. Bessick in there as well, who jumps on for good measure. Thomas, quick handoff, is that's just below the 40. Wolfpack cutting down here. Eagles pushing to midfield. And they'll try again. There's just no room there. And now there might be a little bit opening up here, as a little bit of space before Dixon came over. To me, it looked like Fazard. Space on the right side here. Quick stiff arm and then push down Ashworth. Jack Ashworth continues to push here. This one booted. And a little bit of space played there.
Well, It's a smart thing there, Hickson, because he did spill it, but he had his back turned towards his own line, so he spilled it backwards and then cleaned it up because he was under pressure from Yeri.
He was able to box Yeri out on that.
Yeah.
As it comes back over.
Kay's had a big game, hasn't he?
Kay might be a little winded from that last big run and that pair of kicks he had.
Keep coming.
As now they work on the near side. Dixon has it. Dixon was tied up, now rolling it to midfield. Sidlow stopped there, a little bit of room. Ackers finds some space. And he's sandwiched there, Oliver Davies in on it. As this one's just kicked through, bounces out around 5.
Well, here's the hit of the game, and it was early on in the piece, and I think it set the tone. Ashton Sims early in the second half. Here it comes. Whiting with the lead up, and then get the into your young Burns. But I just think the methodology of the Wolfpack, the thought processes, the more attention to detail on the defence. The Maple Leaf Diamonds hit of the game was Ashton Sims early on in this second piece.
That's another guy coming off of an injury, wanting to make a big impact, able to do just that. And he'll be all smiles in his return. And there's no doubt that Adam Hickson is all smiles in his return as well.
Yeah, they've done some good things. I just think the team effort today has been good.
Yeri. He boots it out, and it's a foot race right now. Eagles might be able to win this, but in swoops Liam Kay, and there's not many that run faster than Liam Kay.
Well, it's Yeri and Spedding, nothing to lose. Want to expose the Wolfpack defence, but Liam Kay's done some meterage in this last 5 minutes.
Corey Ashton was trying, or Aston rather, was trying to beat him there, but just couldn't. Wolfpack again got the chance to move up there off.
Well, they'll have a set to put icing on the cake, and they're going coast to coast. So they pick out O'Brien. That was a slightly high from Offerdale. Yeah, I think the first effort from Offerdale was over his head. O'Brien's not whinging too much. Sidestep. Andy Ackers wanting to get on with it. Minute to go. One full set.
You can hear the chants starting up here at Lamport as well, as the fans know what is just 45 seconds away at this point, and it's well in hand for the Wolfpack. Might be able to add another one on.
That's it.
And just sliding in with time winding down. Add another try for the Wolfpack on the afternoon.
Well, I reckon that's it, and that's Andrew Dixon in a good line off another smart play. He's had a decent game today, Ryan Briley. Kicked well, given the ball to people, took the line on well. And there's a lot of players at the line. There's Andrew Dixon running in between Offerdale and Weldon. Again, so Briley picks him out. Good line from Dixon, good left foot jab, and gets himself over the line, and nothing much that McCaleb can do about that.
And a couple of smiling faces.
Well, that's the game, Brian. The Wolfpack know it. I think Sheffield know it. The shield is theirs. They get to collect it now.
They can open up the trophy case, add another one to it, and this will certainly have them feeling good, as they're going to be battling for promotion in the top spot that they could have earned. So a long season. Well, Gareth O'Brien punctuates it right there with another kick.
Totally deserved top spot. All the tough ones to come, all the excitement of the playoffs to come. But what does it mean? It means the top of the ladder. They get 4 home games at the Den, which they defended really, really well so far. That's their reward for this magnificent season that they've had. Liam Kay today, man of the match, absolutely outstanding. Sometimes defensively doing things, but probably picked this out. Left foot, right foot. There he goes. Transat, yeah, the Air Transat, man. He did some great things defensively as well. Briley as well was up there. All the forwards deserve a mention because they've laid a fantastic platform today, and the Air Transat man of the match goes to Liam Kay for the flashy stuff at the end.
Just flying in there, going end to end, a pair of kicks and ambidextrous to boot.
Ambidextrous to boot, that's not a good one, Brian. I think he was watching England in the World Cup against Sweden this morning. He thinks it's coming home. He's brought it home to the Lamport today, his skills, and they brought the trophy home as well. And there's a loyal few of that side, on the west stand, and they've been banging those drums and flying those flags from day one 2 years ago. So thrill for them, another piece of silverware for them to celebrate, but job not done, a stepping stone on the way. But take a pause and a moment of breath to reflect on what's been achieved.
Wolfpack with a massive 68-4 win. We will have the Shield presentation coming up right after this. Toronto Wolfpack Rugby is presented in partnership with Air Transat. Vacation is calling. And it's brought to you by Maple Leaf Diamonds, true Canadian treasures, as well as by Tech Savvy, 20 years of being different in a good way.
Join the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup across Canada.
Tasting Jif peanut butter is like tasting peanut butter for the first time.
What?
Every time.
What? Come on!
Jif peanut butter. Over 1,300 quality peanuts in every jar. Taste the difference.
You got 10 seconds. Time to find your ideal hotel. Just type in where you want to go. And with 2 clicks, you select your check-in, your checkout dates, and search. Hotel Trivago.
Right now at Pizza Hut, get a 2-topping medium pizza for just $8.99. Or as many as you want, so every night can be pizza night. Like tonight, and the next night, and you get it. 2-topping medium, just $8.99 at Pizza Hut. For a limited time, online only.
How old is the Earth?
The Earth is 4.54 billion years old.
Do you know what the sun feels like on your face?
I can't answer that.
It feels amazing! Now you make a wish. Have you ever seen a shooting star?
I do not know.
That's what I thought.
Welcome back to Wolfpack, and we're talking about rugby. I'm with Liam Kay, first star of the match, and with good reason. Liam, can you talk about your game and that highlight reel try that we saw earlier today?
Yeah, I mean, first half, you know, we completed high, and, you know, I have to give a rap to our forwards. It's hard as a back, as a winger centre, trying to get in when your forwards are playing so good. So, you know, in the second half, like I say, pretty much same happened again, and obviously I got a bit of lucky there with a bit of soccer skills and getting the breakaway try. So yeah, happy with that.
Liam, you're adding a bit of hardware to your trophy case tonight. Raising the shield, how does it feel? Season's worth of work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, last year we came top of the League One. This year we've come top of Championship. So, you know, that's just a massive, massive indication of where the club's going. You know, and hopefully we want the big award at the end of the year, which is obviously Super League.
Liam, I won't keep you any longer. I'll let you celebrate. Congratulations. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, all right. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Send it upstairs to you, Brian.
Sam, thank you very much for kicking off our post-game show brought to you by Tech Savvy. A fair price for internet isn't science fiction. It's Tech Savvy. As you see there, a big 68-4 win for the Toronto Wolfpack, and they're going to be dancing in the stands for this one for a long time, aren't they, Brian?
Yeah, hopefully. And then freshen up for Monday and on with the job. It's an unbelievable reflection on the team. You know, 3 games to go on the top of the ladder. I think it's been a reflection of their dominance and the hard work that's gone in on a lot of fronts. And Liam mentioned it there. I don't think they'll take their eyes off the true prize. That's to come. The tough games are to come. The excitement's to come. We've got so much more going on. This is a brief prelude to hopefully what's coming, but they understand that the challenges come thick and fast from here on in.
Well, and this is exactly why this team was assembled in the way that it was. They wanted to be competitive. They wanted to prove that they could hang with the big boys overseas, and they've done that so far. They've just been rocketing up throughout the championship.
Well, there's been a lot of success on the back of a lot of hard work and preparation. I can only reinforce that it's going to be so exciting coming up.
And with their thoughts on that, let's head back down to Sam McDade and Paul Rowley.
Thanks, Brian. Alongside head coach Paul Rowley, sorry, I stumbled your word with excitement. Let's talk about, though, this hardware that you guys are raising here tonight and the hard work that's gone into it this season, Paul.
Yeah, I think it's good tonight because we put quite a polished performance together. It wasn't scrappy. I think we're near on 100% completion second half, so it's always good to. We didn't want to lift a trophy on the back of a scratchy performance, so yeah, really happy. As far as lifting the trophy goes, it's like I said, it's reward for the boys for hard work. It gives us a good chance towards the real business in the middle age. So yeah, we don't mind a party, whatever week it may be. So we'll have a little one, but we won't get carried away. We know there's business to be done. However, it'd be rude not to celebrate.
Paul, can you let me in on a little bit of a secret? What's next? What's going on? What's the secret plan?
Well, there is no secret plan. The plan's the same as always. That's the life as a coach. If you win a game, then you stay away worrying about next game, and then that's the way it'll be for us. So, tonight I'll be thinking about next week straight away.
I'll let you celebrate, Paul. Thank you so much.
Cheers, thank you.
Congratulations. We'll send it back up to you, Brian.
Sam, thank you very much. A little bit of coach speak there. Oh, we'll have a little party. We're not going to have a big one, though. He's got to keep his boys focused, doesn't he?
He's not. He's bang on. You got a few people around here that the sobriety in relation to thought process. Of course, they probably have a couple of drinks tonight, Brian. We're not silly. You've got to celebrate such a massive achievement for the club. And they will. And that's not being disrespectful to any other club that's played a part in this league. You look at what's happening underneath. It's everybody's so. This mix is so exciting about getting to this. It's going to be like something that explodes at the end. But the element of sobriety comes from the fact that we know there's a lot of tough things to come, and the boys understand that. They're professional. If they have a couple of drinks tonight, good on them. But I hope they wake up tomorrow and with the same methodology that they've used for the rest of the season to make them so successful. So, well spoken, Coach Rowley, and his thought processes are being reflected by a lot of people in this organisation right at the moment. So nobody's allowed to get carried away because there's so many good teams still in this division to play, and still with the bottom four of the Super League coming down. Boy, it's going to be exciting.
Well, speaking of the rest of the year and keeping focused, staying sharp, and having your eyes on the rest of the schedule, there you see the Bulldogs are in town, the Hornets as well. Two good tests for this team. They've got to be sharp for them. It's going to give them the opportunity to kind of round into form and to work on some things that they want to when they go and face those other 7 teams.
Well, I think they took a huge step towards that today mentally, because sometimes you can drift. And I mean that in the nicest possible sense. You can drift in your thought processes and what you need to be doing at this time of year in relation to everything that's going on. Batley will be a tough challenge. They'll come here. But bear in mind, every team that comes here wants to knock the Wolfpack off at their own home field advantage, Lamport, which is the Den. So defending the Den is massively important to the team.
Well, that's the saying, of course, defend the Den. And that's the other challenge of being the top team, too. When everybody looks up and they see the #1 seed, now they're going to look up, and this is a team with the championship, the league leaders shield in tow now, especially over those last couple of games. That's what those teams are going to want to do, is that now, if they didn't before, the target is on their back, and now the Wolfpack have to continue to prove that they're for real, even though they've done a fabulous job of it so far.
Well, the Wolfpack play with pressure every week. That's part and parcel of a new franchise, part and parcel of an expansion team, part of a well put together team, and a team that wants to win. So they're under pressure. The pressure's not going to be any less now for the next 8 or 9 weeks. It's bear in mind that the dream is to be part and parcel of the Super League, and there's so many hoops still to jump. So well done, well done, well done, well done. But wake up tomorrow knowing that the job isn't done.
And that was the message pretty consistently across the board. We heard it at halftime. We heard it post-game as well. We heard it from the coaching staff, is that the job isn't done. This is just another step, just another rung on the ladder, climbing to where this team wants to be. And in terms of that, we talk about the preparation, not getting too far ahead of themselves. They've clinched what they've wanted. They're on the way to where they want to be. How do you properly prepare? Is it a balance for the rest of the remaining games here, or is it looking ahead and preparing for those other 7 teams while preparing for the teams that are right in front of you as well?
It's a bit of both. You've got to set some standards, keep those standards both in practice, keep your levels of intensity in practice. When it comes to the game, play what's in front of you. That's all you can ever do. They've done that today. But keep your own principles, keep your own standards, because the highest of standards is going to be needed at the end of the year, because there are no gimmies then. So those 7, possibly 8 games at the end of the year will define this team. Not what we're seeing today, and please don't think I'm being disrespectful. That's an unbelievable achievement to get this division, because it's a tough division, done and dusted with 3 games to go.
And it looks like they're just about finished rounding everybody up. The hardest part when you do this is you want the kids to be there. Now you got to go find all of them because they're everywhere on the field. A couple were playing down at the south.
They're gone. They're lifting rugby balls and
some
running
of them.
up.
They got a couple of them in there.
Yeah, make the photo sweet, won't it?
And they've got the mascot down there as well. The champagne is getting handed out, rightfully so. One being put in the hands of that man right there, Liam Kay. He's been spectacular.
I hope they haven't lost the shield. Hope somebody's
That's the trick.
it.
You got to find it. It made it through customs. We know that.
One of the kids might have taken it and run into the sidelines.
Oh, they were just so excited. What's this? I like this. It's shiny.
Maston Shims is preening himself. Looks like he's getting ready for the lift. And there he is. The kid's there. Here he comes. Somebody's bringing it. I'm sure of that. I'm so excited that we don't know where it is.
Are we going to have to send you down to find it? Well, Ashton might get tired of the wait here. Might go find it himself.
Let's have a look. Has it arrived? Is it here? Is somebody here?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would draw your attention to midfield. With the win today, the Toronto Wolfpack have clinched first place in the Betfred Championship. Here to present the league leader, Toronto City Councillor Mark Grimes, will be presented by Vice Captain Ashton Sams.
The Toronto Wolfpack have won the Betfred Championship Shield as league leaders, but their work isn't done. They've still got a couple of games to wrap up here at home, and then it's off to see if they can try and claim a spot in the promotion. For everybody here that helped bring you this game, Sam McDade, Brian Noble, and myself, Brian Teal, thank you so much for tuning in from Canada.
Due to the length of the preceding live event, we now join our regularly scheduled programming already in progress.
Play now.